This is English Literature Web. I am Prof.L.B. Gayakawad talking on characters in novel. What is actually a character? We will discuss first. Character is a role in the novel. It means this character is called a role. Role means some persons play the roles there. Some women, some men play their roles in the novel, and that's why it is called the characters. These characters are men, women, animals, or the lifeless objects. So what is the point here? These characters are the persons. The persons means they are men, some men are there, some women are there, animals are there, or the lifeless objects. Means lifeless objects means I will say trees are there, tables are there, chairs are there. Means imaginary or with imagination, these characters are taken or described or script out by the novelist, and that is why they are called the characters. They are shown like human beings. For example, if the characters are lifeless characters, if the characters are the chairs and tables, if there are the cartoons, though these characters are lifeless, but these characters are shown like human beings. It means that they behave like human beings, they talk like human beings, or they do every action like the human being. It means that they are exactly the mirror of man's life or the mirror of the society. Means they are the representatives of the society. It means that they are the members of our family or they are the members of our society. Readers don't forget them after reading. It means that when the reader takes a novel in his hand to read, that novel is very surprising. That novel is very innovative, very suspicious or very detective because of the characters. Only because of those characters that novel becomes very much innovative, and that's why the reader cannot forget or the readers cannot uh, leave that novel out of his hand. Means again and again that reader wants to read that novel, and that's why those characters surprise the readers or those characters impress the readers, and that's why those readers don't forget them after reading. And for example, we will see here the Shakuni in the Mahabharata. If we see the Shakuni character, then we can say that this Shakuni character is very much a memorable character, and when we see the serial of the Mahabharata, then we cannot forget this character permanently. Then there is the character of Iago. Iago of Shakespeare. This character is also not forgotten by us because this character is also the surprising character. Means it is very different type of a villain, and that's why we people cannot forget this Iago also, because the people like Shakuni and Iago are there in our life still, and that's why we people do not forget or cannot forget these characters. That is the point. The next point is that the analytical characters are taken from outside. Now see, there is the novelist, and this novelist wants to write his novel to study the society because he wants to analyze the society or he wants to give some lessons to society. That's why the novelist takes the analytical characters from the society. He observes the society very minutely, very carefully, and he selects all the characters from the society, and that's why it is said that these characters are the analytical characters, and these analytical characters are taken from outside, means from the society. Then their feelings and emotions are analyzed properly. Now we have seen that the novelist wants to see the psychological study of the characters, or he wants to give the lesson to the society. That's why their emotions and feelings are very important, and that's why this novelist studies as at first their feelings and their emotions, and he analyzes these feelings and these emotions very nicely, and he pens down all these emotions and feelings very specially, or in the specialized language he writes them down, and that's why this is said that their feelings and emotions are analyzed properly by the novelist. It means these characters are written only for their feelings and emotions. It is the point that these characters are not written only for showing people. These characters are written only to see their feelings, their emotions, because the total world depends on feelings and desires. If there are no feelings and no desires, then man's life has no importance, and that's why all these characters are written, all these characters are described, picturized by the novelist only for their feelings and only for their emotions, because the novelist study wants to study psychologically, and that psychologically study is very much important study for the people in the society. It means that when people in the society reads such novels, they take some lessons from such psychological characters, and that's why their emotions and feelings are picturized or described by the novelist. The dramatic characters are written with their speech and actions. So now this is the point of the dramatic characters. What is the dramatic characters? The dramatic characters means they are actually doing actions, or they do always actions, or they do always speech. It means they speak in a different way, or they do actions dramatically, and that's why they are called the dramatic characters. And so the dramatic characters are written by the novelist with their speech and with their actions, means these characters do the different type of actions from other characters or from the people of the society, and they speak very much differently. If we see the Nata Samrat by Viva Shirvadkar, then we will see that Nata Samrat, the main role, Nata Samrat speaks in the different way that we do not forget him, and that's why that is the dramatic characters. That is the dramatic character, I will say, means that Nata Samrat is the dramatic character in Marathi. Why? Because he talks very differently and he speaks very differently and his actions are very dramatically, and that's why that character is the dramatic characters, and that's why the novelist writes the dramatic characters very nicely, dramatically, on the basis of their speech and actions. They are described by the critics and writers through their performances. Now, what is the point here? The point is the performance. Now, all these characters are analyzed, or all these characters are picturized, or written or described by the critics or the novelists or the writers only because of the performance of the characters. Means what type of their performance is, or what performance is done by them actually in the life. That performance is very much important, and on the basis of that performance, that writer or that critic analyzes this character, and he shows us the importance of that character, and then they are also shown with the comments of other characters. Means with the main characters or with the special characters or with the main hero or the main heroine, or with the dramatic characters, there are some other characters with them, and those other characters also praise them, or these characters are praised by other characters, or the other character speaks very nice or very bad about these characters, and that's why these characters are called the dramatic characters. And so we say here that they are also shown with the comments of other characters. Comments of other characters means other characters are impressed by them wrongly or goodly, and that's why other characters also paint their character with their language, with their talks, and that's why these characters are the dramatic characters according to the critics. Thus the modern novels are written with the dramatic planning, and that's why today when we see the dramatic novels, all the dramatic novels are written by the modern novelist with the help of the dramatic plannings, because though there are good characters and there is no dramatic planning, then that novel will not be the successful novel. And that's why all the modern novelists have written all their modern novels with the help of the dramatic planning. Thus, the characters are the persons. In this way, we can say that all these characters are the persons with moral, immoral, good and bad signs. Means all these characters in the novel are with the moral or immoral, good or bad signs. It means that these characters are, some characters are at the good side, some characters are at the bad side. It means that some characters are at the moral, means goodness, and some characters are at the immoral, that is badness, that is immoral things. And that's why we can say that these are the best characters from the society, because in the society also there are some good people and there are some bad people, and so these characters are the mirrors of those people in society, and that's why these characters in the novel are also painted by the novelist as moral and immoral, means good and bad. They do actions through their dialogues. Now the next information is that all these characters do their actions with their dialogues. Means how their dialogues are. If their dialogues are sad, their actions will be sad. If their dialogues are happy, the actions will be happy. And that's why they do actions through their dialogues. They are lifelike. They are lifelike. Lifelike means they are exactly true characters. Lifelike means exactly they are like a life of man, or like the life of man. Man. Actually, they are the mirror of man. Means they can be our uncle, they can be our fathers, or they can be our neighbors, and that's why they are called the lifelike characters. So here it is said that they are lifelike characters. Thus the real novelist describes real men. Real novelist describes the real men and real women as the characters. It is the best point that if the novelist is the real person, and if that novelist wants to take the real things from the real life, that real novelist takes the real characters from the society, and that's why it is said here that the real novelist describe real men and real women as the characters from the society. Here we have seen our topic characters in novel. I will request you to like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.